versus Umbrella. I believe we have Myers on the Hawkins, starting us off into Hillbilly, Cenobite Artist, and Houndmaster. And I'll discuss a little bit more of that later. But for now, I'm with Flightless. We're both waking up a little bit, but how are you doing this morning, Flightless?
I'm doing pretty good today, Jules. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I think it's not morning for everyone though, but for Americans at least, I think you're NA East, right?
Yep, it is currently 9:57 a.m. My brain is taking its time warming up today.
Yeah. But I think Umbrella's pick was the Myers on the Hawkins set. We have two AHL sets to start us off. That's Myers on Hawkins and Gideon Meat Plant Hillbilly, which will be a little interesting, I think. I haven't seen one of those before.
Yeah, I've seen Myers on Hawkins a couple times. Normally it's with the previous Myers with the Eerie add-on that gives him infinite tier 3, but ever since his rework, I'm it's probably going to be pretty interesting. I've played a couple games of him, and he seems pretty decent. He can outplay some new palettes, and the way his power works is pretty fun. But Billy on Gideon, that's gonna be extremely funny. Uh, I know Gideon as Home Depot in my mind. I've always called it that because it's like that's just where all the wood in the world is from. So I think Hillbilly's gonna have a very fun time on that map.
Can I steal that? I love that.
Yeah,
That's
I
amazing.
call I call Gideon Home Depot, and I call that Lowe's. It's like the off brand of Home Depot.
Oh my gosh, I'm definitely taking that, whether I have permission or not. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Um,
But yeah, Invictus known as like probably one of the top two teams as of right now. There's a bit of a debate whether they're top one or not, but they're definitely a top team. Taking a three over Sorrow last weekend, and Umbrella is a bit of a newer team coming up. Uh, they took a 3-2 over Catalyst last week, if I'm not mistaken. I think Umbrella was down 2-0 at the very start, and then they clawed their way back. But I don't remember if that is true or not, so take it with a grain of salt.
yeah, no, last weekend's matches were pretty much clean sweeps, except a couple of them. I think Elysium had a matchup versus Desperate that they lost one of them, but they won the other three. And then Umbrella, I believe, yeah, Umbrella took a 2-3 against Catalyst. So Catalyst is now in the lower bracket, but they're gonna be facing off tomorrow, I believe, against Sorrow. So they'll be back, no worries. Um, and yeah, for now, Umbrella in the upper bracket, this will be interesting to watch. As Invictus, like you said, did take a 3-0 lead over Sorrow. Um, and yeah, I that team shakeup that we had earlier this year, I think a lot of Eternal and Elysium members joined forces, Rocket as well. So a lot of new members coming together to teams that they have never been on teammates or teams with these particular teammates before. Um, but it's been fun to watch them so far. I've seen them in not only DBDLeague, other leagues too, and they've been doing a wonderful job, of course. But Umbrella, honestly, not unfamiliar faces either. Grenow is our killer starting off on the Myers, and he's also very well known, a very familiar name. Um, so that should be fun, I think. I'm excited to watch both of them.
Yeah, Grenaut is one of the most well-known players, especially from teams like Ariandel. He is known as one of the best survivors in the world, like easily. But his killer is also very, very good. He is on, I'd say, a similar level to Bubo in terms of their killer gameplay. He is extremely good. So I'm excited to see some 360s on his Myers because he's definitely going to have to hit something with all these pallets.
360s. That'll be fun. Yeah. I know the new Myers. I haven't played too much of him. I've been mostly on other killers and Survivor, but you did say you played a little bit of him. I wonder if you could talk to us about the new Myers a little bit for people who might not be too aware of the rework.
Yeah, recently they did a rework of Myers where instead of stalking to get your tier 3, uh, you and then you just have M1 insta down with a little bit of an extra lunge, a little bit faster vaulting speed on Windows. You now have the ability to switch between tier 1 and tier 2, which tier 1 you're a bit slower, but you are undetectable and you can stalk to build up to what's called your slaughtering strike. I believe it's called. Or no, it's evil incarnate, sorry. And then in evil incarnate you can use your slaughtering strike to insta down people. And instead of being an M1, kind of works like Pig. You have a dash where you have a little bit of a limited camera control, but you go pretty fast and you can kind of hug tech things. It works a lot like Pig, but just with limited camera movement, and you have insta downs. But you can also use it to break pallets. And in tier 3, you have a faster vault and lower stun, I believe, unless that's only tier 2. I could be wrong.
No, you're
But yeah,
right. You're right.
you can switch through the forms consistently just by pressing the active ability button. So in lethal pursuer mode, you have faster break speed, faster vault speed, a slightly longer lunge. You move at 115% speed, which is normal for killers. And you have normal M1s, but you only have a 16-meter tear radius, which is going to come in handy on indoor maps because
Mm.
it's a little bit faster than the stalker mode, but at least you um it's a little bit faster than in stalker mode, and the downside is you have a small tear radius.
Yeah, I know once the match starts, I'm gonna forget the names of the particular modes, but it's Stalker, Pursuer, and
Yeah,
Evil Incarnate is the tier 3. I'll try to remember that. I'll try my best. We are heading into the match though. This is gonna be Umbrella on the Killer, like I said, that's Grano on the Killer, and Team Invictus on the Survivor. Hawkins National Laboratory. We have seen quite a few Myers Hawkins sets before, but with the new update, they are a little bit farther between. I think I haven't seen too many with the new reworked Myers, but I think we have had some last week. So this is gonna be another one. And yeah, loading in now. We'll have to see what happens.
yeah, they reworked him, and he was considered one of the worst killers in the game, and then he became the worst killer in the game. They actually nerfed him somehow, but then they buffed him recently. So, uh, well, it's got an interesting build. Painres, Ruin, Undying, and uh, I think that's Wretched Fate. I think that's the name of it. I believe that one it slows down the survivor with who's the obsession after a gen's completed. They have slower gen progress, which is pretty strong with Ruin. And
Ooh.
he's found Dan already. Looks like he's going to try to keep him zoned or look for someone else. Yeah, he's looking for someone on that portal room gen, so that way he can stalk through the floor and build up his evil incarnate.
Yeah, there's multiple survivors in this area. I think I saw several pairs of scratch marks heading around, kind of down the map. Kexo seems to think he's in the area as well. They're playing a little bit safe until they have eyes. I think Pedro did hop on a generator first, but yeah, those totems gonna be super impactful. I think in this match, totems recently got an update, of course, and Ruin itself, which is one of our perks we see here, has gotten a buff, and we do see Spitz taking chase now on this pallet at 6. This is kind of an unsafe pallet, so he's gonna take an M1 for it. Did greet it, and will be heading up the map. Um, there's a very strong room here that he's going to use to his advantage, I think. Or these double pallets are a pain for the killer to tear through. But I mean, Myers might be able to play around it in tier 3, but he is only tier 1 right now. We'll have to be just kicking those pallets and heading off, maybe to find some more stock on somebody else.
Yeah, this is where indoor killers become very dangerous. Like, even though he's only an M1 right now, he only has an injury, he doesn't have his insta-down available. With Ruin up, Ruin is very strong because indoor maps, like, you have to play so differently. It looks like they've already gotten rid of the Undying, so they only have max 2 totems to worry about right now. But uh, with indoor maps, the serves have to play so slow because if you get caught out, then you can be in a really bad position. And Pedro taking chase, he switches to lethal pursuer mode, doesn't really care about his stock. He just wants to try to get an injury here if he can. Oh, never mind. He's built up to his evil incarnate. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, we are
Pedro's,
dropping a
Pedro's,
lot of pallets very fast, but this is such a long
oh,
lunge. Oh my
the
goodness,
limited perk
Pedro.
rate. Oh my god. Why'd they make it limited?
I almost caught the end of that there. This is going to be a hard palette to play with. Yeah, yeah. There's the down. Very difficult palette to play against that ability, that tier 3 lunge ability. It's kind of a 50-50, but even less safe. It's like a 30-70 or something like that. But there's the first gen popping. We do see several pain res hooks available in the area. I wonder if Grunnout took one. And they do find 2 different totems, so at least Wretched Fate or Ruin is going to be gone. We don't know yet which one he is cleansing, but that will be helpful to the survivors later in the match. But having our first hook, I mean, not bad, not bad. We're off to a good start. We have, okay, I think that was Ruin. I'm not totally sure. No, no,
No,
sorry,
that was yeah,
that
it's
was
Wretched
Wretched Fate.
Fate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dan's the obsession, so he got the slower gen progress. But once the gen is completed and Wretched Fate's activated, it shows its aura to the obsession. So it doesn't look like they know where Ruin is, because I would assume that they would have cleansed it, unless they just wanted to get rid of the Undying for its wall hack potential. But
Yeah, Dan.
this is pretty good position for Greenout. He has a hook on the staircase, which is easy to defend. But one survivor has to go from bottom and another has to go from top. So guaranteed 2 people have to go for this save if they want to get it. So he knows that if anyone's going for the save, there's only one person working gen. And if only one person going for save, no one gets the pull. So he can get a pretty much guaranteed second stage here.
Yeah, I think Pedro will be going second stage here, and Dan is working the generators slower, like you said, because of that. Or he would have been working the generators slower because of that Wretched Fate, but luckily they cleansed the Wretched Fate in time. But still, that Ruin. I mean, we are kind of in the middle of a 3-gen here. The hook here has this bottom mid-gen. We do see another gen popping. But the bottom mid gen, the generator at 7, and the generator that Nia here is working on Kexo. And we do manage to get Pedro, but he is second stage. He's Death Hook. A very dangerous position for our survivor. Spitz might have to take it down here for our survivor, but it's he just ignores them. Okay, never mind. We're just going right past him. That's fine too. And Pedro playing for his life, but this is a good chase power, a good zoning power. Grano is catching up.
He has 2 really strong pallets right into each other, so he makes this into this double pallet room. I think he's probably just going to try to waste time in here, or even maybe try to die under pallet. I don't think he can curve this because of how short it is and the limited turn rate. I think Kexo's is going to be working on that gen, trying to pop the 3 gen. If they could pop this, that would be huge for them. He makes his pallet too.
Oh
Forces
my
out
gosh,
his
look.
power.
That zoning is incredible, honestly. And we have about a quarter of his power left. But Pedro, this is a decent position for him, to be honest. This is a pretty good area. And Nia actually taking a hit now will be taking a complete down. We do see another generator popping, so we are at 2 gens. I mean, it was looking pretty bad for a second, but our survivor's doing an excellent job of getting out of that rough position. Pedro going all the way topside to where all of the generators have gotten completed already. And that bottom 3 end still stands, but if the survivors are doubling it, oh, Spitz takes a hit as well. It's going to be just an M1, and Pedro actually makes so much distance into the next room. This could be a very long chase, Flightless.
Yeah, this is looking like a really good chase, especially since he has he has these pallets next to each other. He runs into the survivors, so Dan takes another hit. Kexo's working that gen on bottom side, and he decides he can't commit to Pedro anymore. He just needs to go for Dan. But I don't even know if he can stop this pallet from this gen from popping. Yeah, he doesn't. So the map is completely split now, with all 4 survivors alive. He has 2 gens on bottom side, which they're close to each other. Those are easy to defend. But the last gen is on the complete opposite side of the map, and the one doing it is Spitz with Deja Vu and Resilience. Resi giving him an extra 9%, and Deja giving him extra 6% for an extra 15% progress speed on this gen. So there is no chance that Greenock can camp this. He can get
This
a free. He can give a free evil incarnate from Spitz because you can see through the floor, as you can see here, is looking at his little butt cheeks. But once he goes up for him, Spitz is going to drop, and he gets free distance. The advantage of this gen is once you force the person off of it, then it starts regressing and ruin. But this is looking pretty dangerous because this. Oh, he uses Soldering Strike to try to start chase on Spitz there. I don't know if you noticed that, but that window is an infinite, even versus tier 3 Myers Vault speed. But he used his Sliding Strike to try to get around the corner a bit quicker and start chase on Spitz. It just wasn't quick enough. That was a very smart idea from him. But now that gen is 50% and he has pretty much no info on anybody.
These generators could not be further apart, by the way. We have top 6, top 12, and 7, and those are pretty much the best split you can possibly get on this map. I mean, yes, the gen at the top side of the map is very easy to work, but you can get stalked through it. I mean, this is gonna be a down. Oh my goodness, that is a down.
Ooh.
Okay, Kexo going down to the M2 power there, the slaughtering strike. I think there'll be another pain rest hook. We do have one right behind us, and we'll be taking it instantly. It probably hit the gen that Spitz was working on the top side, and there is some aura reading there on our survivor. Is gonna be dropping this pallet instantly. Okay, that's our tier 3 over. So Pedro is safe for now. Taking. Oh, I was gonna say taking an M1, but he actually makes that pallet safely heading over the pallet. Probably we'll just get the pull for free because we have to leave this hook here. We have to find Spitz, who is our fresh hook, to get the best result possible. Dan, probably our second best option, Dan and Kexo, as they are only worth one stage on them. And I think he wants to actually leave and find Spitz. Yeah, Spitz did pop that gen top side, and I think Grenout knows that. And being injured gonna be a little bit more difficult for Spitz to hide. So we'll have to see if Grenout manages to find him here.
Yeah, it
Oh,
doesn't look like he's gonna be able to. And in fact, he just gets a free down on Kexo. Now, getting this death will be pretty decent for Grenade, but you know that he wants Spitz. It doesn't. I don't think he's going to be able to get him because yeah, Spitz is already out. So this is looking like what is that? A 6 stage? 6 stage 3 fresh.
yeah, yeah.
I
Pretty
mean,
solid result, right?
yeah, not a terrible result, but Myers was getting a similar result to that before this update. So maybe they actually did nerf Myers, even with the most recent buff.
Yeah, the problem is you still have the stock to get into the lethal mode, right? And
Mhm.
it's very it's well, I don't want to say easy to deny stock, but it's definitely a difficult map to stock on. And yeah, Myers is undetectable and can get around those corners and catch survivors off guard pretty easily a lot of the time. But this team has excellent coordination, communication. And if you pre-run, wrap around corners, and stay out of line of sight, it's a little bit more difficult, I think for the Myers there. But I mean, this will be Grenout's team, Team Umbrella, switching to the Survivor side. I mean, yeah, 6 stages, 6 stages, 3 fresh. This is definitely doable for both sides. I don't want to count either of them out yet.
Yeah, it depends on if Umbrella can do what Invictus did. They can deny stock for as long as humanly possible, and then they can get that 3 gen on either bottom or top side done. It's likely going to be on bottom side because that portal room gen is just a menace with that infinite window. Because as people who may or may not know, if you are not in chase, you can vault a window infinite amount of times, and that window is so long that you can never start chase on that if you don't start the window in chase. So that portal room gen is pretty much the last thing the killer wants to have to defend.
Mm,
So if he can get a bottom side 3 gen and can keep it, this is probably a win for Invictus. But if Umbrella can get it done super quickly without giving too much chase potential from it looks like it's going to be Pedro, then Umbrella can take it. But it's kind of a coin toss whether they're going to be able to get the 3 gen done or not.
yeah. I mean, the thing is, last match, Pedro was hooked in the middle of a bottom side 3 gen. one of the many that spawned on Hawkins, but they managed to save him right after he hit second. And if Pedro had had a bad chase there, it would have been a really rough 3v1 for the survivors. But I mean, he lasted quite a while, right? He lasted to drop so many pallets despite the Myers updated zoning ability. And I think that's just trusting in your teammates, right? Trusting in your teammates to have a good chase. Because yeah, you need to get him out of that third gen. You need to get him on his feet and in chase once again. And just, I mean, Great couldn't really do much there. He had to just break every pallet he came across because they were a lot of pallets that got pre-dropped, if I remember correctly, and a lot of pallets that are just very hard to play around. But we are loading into the next set. We have Pedro on the killer, and I've seen some of Pedro's killer before. I don't think I've seen him on Myers in particular, but I mean, I haven't seen many people on on the updated Myers, so we're gonna have to see that one.
Pedro has really proven himself as a very experienced killer player. He was originally on Eternal, and then he switched over to Team Elysium, and he was with Xeno for a long time. So he has been with people like Zaka, Nightlight, Xeno. Uh, he has seen some really good killer gameplay. He has seen firsthand what killer can do, and he is also consistently on the top leaderboards of 1v1 ladder. So, could be a banned perk, banned add-on, could be anything really.
Oh, it
And
looks
that's
like
a good start, but
it was the wrong killer build, I believe. We're getting
oh
behind the scenes info, but we're gonna have to restart with the correct killer build. I and I mean that was a good start for him for sure, but I think I mean it's the same as it was before, right? 6 stages, 3 fresh is still a tough win con for the survivors, so Pedro can most definitely do it.
yeah, and that actually kind of makes a bit more sense, because I thought that Trail would be the better choice over Unforeseen. I never really liked Unforeseen. I think like that you get a little bit info on the gen that was kicked, and that Trail is active when you see the bright yellow, but at least it can last the entire time, and it also gives you info on when the survivor stops the regression, or if the gen fully regresses, whichever one happens first.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there are no forced add-ons or perks for Myers. I know there are in a lot of All Hallows League sets, but we are we are gonna be heading into the match soon. We are still in the lobby, so we'll be loading in a little bit. But I mean, yeah, like you said, that's an interesting perk. I mean, there's a lot of debate between the two, right? Between Unforeseen and Trail of Torment. We do have a third option this year if you want to have an undetectable perk. There's a new perk by the Crashu, which transfers your terror radius to a generator. It's a hex totem. We saw it a few times last week. We saw it on a midwich set. Um, but obviously it's not forced, so it's just an option for a killer here. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Pedro's gonna choose to bring a gen kicking perk though if he wants to bring an undetectable one.
Yeah, but because of how the balancing works, because Pedro brought the wrong build, he's only going to be allowed to bring the three perks that he got correct on his build choice, with corrupt pain res eruption. And the issue is now that one, he's going to be down a perk. Also, the survivors are going to know what his perks are, which, to be fair, it's not hard to guess what the kill is going to bring. You see the gens blocked, you probably know it's probably corrupt. You probably are going to guess it's pain res because pain res is a staple of every build. And if you don't see ruin, then you can guess it's probably going to be eruption. But also, because of the how the balancing works, Invictus will also be taking a zero point 0.5 stage penalty, which doesn't mean that Invictus will lose straight up, but it means that a tie isn't possible. So if Pedro gets the same result that Grinout did at 6 stages 3 fresh, that means Umbrella will win.
Mhm.
But if he gets 6 stages 4 fresh or 7 stages 3 fresh, which was the win condition previously, it's a win regardless.
Yeah, the perk we're going to be taking off this game looks like it will be the undetectable perk. I believe Trail of Torment was his choice. And we do not see it in our build any longer. It's Eruption, Pain Res, and Corrupt as our only 3 perks. We're going to be heading down the hallway following the scratch marks here, but the survivor made it to this god palette. We'll be pre-dropping instantly. It's Nancy this time. And yeah, Pedro just choosing to kick for now. Did not get very much stock on her. She did a good job of W keying away, but we are now kind of trapped in the same room. There's an opening she's able to find and run away, but this hallway provides a lot of good stalking, and yeah, she will be taking a lot of stock there as a result.
Yeah, the most unfortunate thing about this restart isn't even the penalty and the minus perk. It's the fact that Pedro doesn't have the start that he did that last game. Getting an M1 down that quickly and then instantly getting a power down on the ace, which was an insane start for him. He would have been able to have 2 pain reses, which is 40% regression, and a hook in his 3-gen. Now he has neither of those, and he doesn't even have an injury yet. So it looks like this is going to be a much rougher start for Pedro than last game.
Yeah, so Everson doing a pretty good job of just staying away from him. He does have the tier 3 ready to go soon. Yeah, he will be activating it now, but Nia does have a pallet here. And trying to bait her into breaking it, she does get hit through the pallet. Oh no. And yeah, Pedro taking his first hook there. Unfortunate. That was a rough hit, it looked like. But he will be getting a first painters, however, the first gen popping for it. So I mean, we're not off to a horrible start for either side by any means, but Dwight having a little bit of progress here. I think Ace will be the one taking chase, however.
Oh, he misses the slaughtering strike. The slaughtering strike, he doesn't break that pallet. I guess it ended a little bit too quickly. I will be completely honest. I hate the slaughtering strike. It takes so long to charge like the full dash, and it's so slow. And that's what Neo was trying to do originally. I believe Neo was trying to just react on the pallet, but gets it down on Sashua, and I think this is going to be a hook inside the 3-gen again. So a somewhat similar start actually. This time, Gren out switching for Skang is her first start, but now Sashua is going to be the second hook anyway. That's another pain res. It's probably going to hit the portal room gen, so Gren out's going to have to spend a little bit longer repairing that, and he's going to try to just get his evil incarnate on Nancy here, which is going to be good. He's 99ing it so that way he can stay undetectable. Maybe throw the survivors off a little bit while he catches up. But Pedro might not know that the evil incarnate actually deteriorates. Okay, never mind. Maybe he does, so he's deciding to just take it. And he gets the down already. The advantage is Pedro knows his win con, so he knows what he can play for. He knows he doesn't have to play for like a 4K3 right now. He just has to play for his 7 stages, or 6 stages for fresh, like I said. But this is a really good position for him. This is looking like a 4K anyway. He has 2 hooks right next to each other. One's injured, and the other healthy, but they're the only person that can either do a gen or get the save.
Look at this hook position. Look at these 2 hooks. They're both within range of the slaughtering strike, and he does have it charged up for a few more seconds, so that will be a second stage onto our ace. Visconti and Nancy in danger of going second as well. I think we saw Dwight hovering for the unhook, but I mean, of course you can't unhook. You're insta-downed if you do, and it's a little bit rough that they didn't get the unhook before he managed to hook Nancy there, huh?
Ooh,
We do
and from
see...
Vanity Mirror, he gets the ore reading on Dwight, so he knows exactly where he is. So now, a little bit of BM there, minus 10 stages from Pedro for that.
Yeah. This is an unsafe palette to play as well. I mean, Grenout is her last fresh hit, by the way, so we will be getting all 4 fresh if he manages to down him, but Nancy going second right before we get the unhook. Unfortunate. He even got the stun for it, and this will be the last chase for Ace of the game if we choose to commit to him. He is kind of stuck upstairs, though, so this is a little bit rough, but this pallet might provide a little bit of safety. It's okay. Okay, sure. Sure, Pedro. We're just gonna get the hit right through the pallet, and that will be it for Ace, I think. We don't have okay, Dwight taking an M1 for it, but I mean there's a lot of walls that we can look at to get the pick up there, so no flashlight saves likely to come through. And yeah, first elimination at 2 generators, Flightless.
Yeah, this is looking like probably a 4K, maybe a 4K1 instead of a 4K2, because it did have some gem progress while they were hanging on the hooks, but it's a 3v1 with 2 stacks of pain res left, eruption, in a 3-gen with all injured, and they have to play for an extremely tough win con. If they let, I believe, Grenaut or Skang go down and Skang dies on hook, or if Grenaut just gets hooked at all, it's a win for Invictus. Actually, no. Never mind. If Skang gets hooked or Grenaut gets hooked, if anyone gets hooked, actually, that is 6 stages, 7 stages, 3 crash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is Pedro could literally commit to anyone here as long as he doesn't get run for enough time to pop 2 gens. Then he wins.
Yeah.
That was a really good play by Pedro.
Yeah, I mean, giving away a single stage is, I mean, in a 3v1, it's rough enough. In a 3v1, in a 3-gen against a killer that can turn himself undetectable at will, it's even more different. Oh my god, that didn't, that didn't hit. How? Pedro has been swinging for some wild stuff today, and it has mostly been hitting, but Nancy getting away with that one there. Does have a few pallets in our sights, though. Will be playing this one, but this is the win con here. If she goes down, this will be so bad for our survivors if she goes down, especially given she is death hook. It will be a 2v1, and even if it wasn't the win con, it would probably be the end of the game. There is the down coming through. The other two survivors are healing up in the meantime, but like entering the 2v1 now, um, with the pain res as well coming on her. We didn't have a pain res from earlier, so I don't know how the survivors are even gonna pop all gens. The win con has already been met, but it it's looking like a 4K like you said. So Dwight taking chase now, and this might be Rafts, I think, Flightless.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Aw, he doesn't go for a 360 like I was hoping, but he gets it down pretty quickly, and that goes to show like even though Hawkins is pretty pallet dense, and on paper Myers can get really hurt by that because obviously the second you charge up the slaughtering strike or the second you pop your evil incarnate, the survivor can just leave and make another pallet. But looks like Nia might go down here already. Yep, and now we're just gonna have an in-game chase.
Yep. 4K2, 4K2, a very impressive result, I think, for the Myers, and oh my
Uh,
goodness, the mind
there we
games
go.
coming through, making him drop that pallet. Yeah, that it's so similar to the Peg ambush, like you said, kinda. Just kinda able to force the survivors to drop a pallet, and then the dash is just long enough you can kind of play a nice little 50 right after, right? And I think we're gonna get more, yeah? Yeah, okay, we're gonna get more here to end off the game. The Mori, one of the only things about Myers' kit that has not been changed. I'm glad about that one because I really do like the Myers Mori. But yeah, Invictus taking this particular set. We're up 1-0, and we're gonna be heading in to the Hillbilly on the Gideon meat plant.
Yeah, this Billy set coming up. I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna look, because Billy's strength is he can chew through pallets quite easily, and he has really good mobilities. One of the best mobilities in the entire game. He can go from point A to point B pretty much instantly with no downside. But like I said, this is Home Depot with every pallet possible, and he has a very weird mobility on this map. He can go from up and down pretty easily because the map is actually quite small. It's just 2 levels, but it's an indoor map. So there's a lot of things to bump on. There's a lot of walls. So his mobility gets hurt quite a lot. And also, this is the first time we're going to be seeing Gideon this year, actually.
Mhm. Yeah, those AI chill sets tend to be banning Gideon meat plant for a good reason. Home Depot, like you said, it's not the most friendly to killers. And for Survivor, I would argue it's equally uninteractive. There's a lot of pallet dropping, a lot of making sure you don't create dead zones. Of course, that is a preference for some people. I know some people who actually love this map. Um, I think the overwhelming majority is negative, at least in the comp space, but still pretty interesting to see, especially when we don't see killers that usually play on indoor maps like Hillbilly. Um, he is forced a undetectable add-on and an undetectable perk, so that should be interesting to watch. The survivors have to be very careful about when the Billy is in chase, where he is at all times. Um, I would expect good comms from both of these teams, but still, it's going to be unsurprising to me at the very least if we do see a survivor caught off guard because this is a very, very tough set.
Yeah, the you said he's forced an undetectable add-on. Is he forced the another add-on, or can he choose anything?
I believe he's forced to run the undetectable iridescent add-on, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, and then I think the perk would be between the three that we mentioned earlier.
Okay, because there's an add-on on Billy where if your these chainsaw is unhearable outside of the killer's tear radius, which can actually work really well with undetectable perks and the add-on too. So the second add-on can be chosen freely, so they might just go with that one because you don't really need the extra mobility from the engravings. And boots isn't really going to help either because, like I said, it's an indoor map. It's hard to get mobility from even with boots. So they might just go with the full undetectable build with the silent chainsaw add-on, and it doesn't look like they do. It looks like they went with engravings instead.
Oh, did I say eerie? Sorry, I meant Apex Muffler, my bad. But that is the add-on we see here. He is running the Apex Muffler now. Um, and yeah, Dan taking chase instantly, finding a survivor across the map. That's Nia dropping down into this. This is one of the most unsafe pallets on the Gideon replay, which is saying a lot. There's a lot of safe pallets on this map, and this is not one of them. She's gonna be playing 50s, and we'll be going down a very fast down for this map, I think. Um, and yeah, I mean the first hook, there's a pain res in sight. I think that pain res is within reach depending on our door RNG. Hopefully Dan gets a door not open there for his sake, and yes, we are gonna be getting a hook there. So the first pain res coming through, and Trail of Torment is our undetectable perk of choice, it seems.
Yeah, and well, not undetectable. Sorry. Ultimate weapon to try to find survivors easily because this map has a lot of lockers and is quite small, like I said, so it's pretty easy to find people. And he found 2 people already with the hook, so he has a down and he has a hook right next to one of the gens they were progressing. So this is a pretty good spot for Dan already. I was expecting a much longer chase considering all the god palettes on this map.
Yeah, I mean, that was very unfortunate for Anya that we found pretty much the only palette that's not just a pre-drop runaway palette, right? Um, I mean, there are a few, but that is definitely the very lowest scale of safe, right? Um,
Yeah, that was that palette. Pretty much, you're guaranteed a death if the Billy plays super patiently, and Dan did. He made sure to wait until Skang was in the vault animation and was too far away from the pallet to get vacuumed into it, because that is a bit of an issue with Billy.
mhm.
And he has a really high progress then to get his Paratonal from, so he's gonna have this undetectable for a very long time unless they stop it.
Yeah, Nia going into the second stage as well. We're gonna be taking chase onto our Nancy, but if she gets unhooked here, we can immediately be in chase again. Probably gonna be a difficult tunnel out though, considering all the pallets she has left. I would expect her to just drop them all instantly, and Dwight taking it down as he unhooks there, kind of a trade. But I mean, an instant pain res for that trade, right? That's kind of what you get when you trade on a pain res hook. And Nia's chase here matters a lot. Will this be a down? Oh my gosh!
This,
I think that was a life.
yeah, it was alive off that pallet, but this looks like it's going to be a down anyway, unless Scan can unzone themselves, because this is an LT with the door blocked. And in fact, is that a death? That is a death at 3 gens. That is very good for Dan.
Yeah, no kidding. On this map, I'm very impressed by Dan's ability here, and I mean, it just goes to show that yes, this map is very strong, but I mean, still, if you are backed into a corner in a room like Nia was there, very unfortunate, and will result in a death eventually. But Dan doing a good job of getting her there in the first place. We do see some blood here. That's Gren out as the only injured survivor, but I think Nancy was here as well. We saw her entering chase for a second, and that will be undetectable. Once again, that actually gives him access to this room and is able to zone Ace into the back of the room. I think he kind of is trying to unzone himself, but I would not be surprised if this is a down. That was an excellent curve, Dan. Oh my goodness. Um,
Yeah, juicy curve on such a. That pallet is pretty much impossible to play. The ability just breaks the zones and you're dead. Especially with that pallet there. It's pretty much not the pallet, the gen there with making the door blocked. It's pretty much impossible to get away from there. So Sister had to try something, and Dan Dan showing that he's definitely a Billy main. He can hit those curves pretty consistently. And he uses ultimate weapon. He knows where Dwight is, and he also knows where Nancy is. So looks like he's going to take maybe his fresh hook.
yeah, I mean, we had Ultimate Weapon reveal the locations of both of the standing survivors, and oh my goodness, that was almost a down as well. These are so close. Um, I wonder, can he curve this?
He
Oh
does.
my
He
goodness.
definitely can, but is he going to get the hit?
Nancy's playing with fire here on this pallet, but she's... Oh, actually gets the stun. Okay, she actually makes it to this pallet behind her. I think Dan choosing to leave now. As a result of that one is going back to the hook to the 2 injured survivors who are trapped in this room. I think the pallet here was dropped by Ace a second ago, so Gren out taking chase to this other box pallet here. He does have another pallet in the room next to him, but this is... Oh, Dan tries to curve it, but does get stuck on the box there. And there's so many survivors in our sights here. We are able to switch targets pretty easily. We'll be reapplying the undetectable. So, I mean, look out. This is going to be... I wonder if we're going to see him catch anyone off guard here.
Yeah, Nancy getting that pallet stun and being able to completely break away is given a really big momentum shift. Except now Sashua is stuck exactly where Nia was earlier, and doesn't have this god palette anymore, so can't even leave and make something. So it's just dead here too. This LT usually can be problematic because there's a god palette nearby, as there always is on this map. But with this gen there making the door blocked, it's actually very hard to play. And now he knows where his last fresh is, where his last pain res is as well. So it looks like he's going to try to find them. The Rice is probably going to do their absolute best to stealth here.
Mm. Yeah, it's so hard to stealth though when ultimate weapon is 50% off cooldown. We're gonna have it back in a minute. Not an actual minute, of course, that's just a figure of speech. But we do see that Hook is in a room that has no exit except for this one narrow hallway. So Dan, if he really wants to, can just hold the exit of this room, and I mean, Sasuha is dead. Sorry. And this other generator might be popping in a second. That's deja vu and resilience coming in clutch on that generator, giving him that extra gun speed. But we're entering the 2v1 at 1 generator remaining. With a survivor in chase almost instantly. I think this is Nancy taking chase by the bathroom. We will be pre-dropping this pallet instantly and most likely dropping the other as well. She's doing a very good job of greeting the pallet. Where did she go? Where did she go?
Oh, it's ghost nodes. I see. I think the scratch marks. I think Dryce may have walked with fixated, and then just sprint bursted away. So any scratch
Mhm.
marks are pretty much gone already because it Ghost Notes increases the despawn rate of scratch marks by 50% whenever the survivor is exhausted. And with sprint burst, you're always exhausted while running, so scratch marks disappear very very quickly, which is a huge. It's huge for them because now they are in the 2v1, but they can still have a pretty good chase unless they get caught out like so.
Yeah, I mean, we still could have a decent chase here. We have several pallets available to us, and oh my goodness, Dores dodging that down there, but I think he might be going down here if this pallet didn't spawn, which it did not, and that will be info on Dwight as well, as we saw him earlier on the ultimate weapon. And yeah, here are his scratch marks. I think that will be all she wrote. A pretty solid 4K one by Dan, honestly, all things considered. We had a very early first down, and that resulted in a bit of a snowball, I think. But we're taking our last chase on pretty much every pallet available to us on this map, so this might be down in a little while. We'll have to see.
Yeah, these pallets. There's some that are really curvable and some that aren't. They're weird to play. And it looks like Grenaut's playing this pretty well. He's greeting these pallets very very well. He's I mean he's just running for style points at this point. I don't think there's any way that they can get the pickup and then complete complete another generator. But I, hey, maybe Grenaut can do it. Maybe he's gonna just TP through the floor in any second now.
He does have Dead Hard. Maybe he could make something happen with it. I don't think we've seen it come out quite yet, but I mean, he is doing a good job of dropping a lot of these pallets. I wonder if he makes it back over to the slug, if Dan will expect the Dead Hard maybe, but oh my goodness, that was an
Oh
excellent
wait,
stun. He actually does get the pickup. Okay,
and
that
then
stun matters a lot, right?
yeah, and then the blind as well. I mean, if Grenaut if Grenaut can have a super good chase and Dan just decides to commit to him, Darice might mess up on the curve. Yeah, Dan decides to leave and he's gonna try to play it safe.
Mm.
Although Darice is running into him.
Yeah, we're playing a edge palette here on this hallway, and oh my goodness,
Ooh, a
what the heck?
very good
Okay,
curve. I knew he'd be able to curve that, but I'll be honest, I expected him to get vacuumed on that pallet. And now we're back in the same position.
yeah.
But Granite has two less pallets of the 40 on this map, so I don't know if he'll be able to do the same as he did before.
Maybe we'll have to see. I mean, Grenon has done a very, very good job this game so far, the MVP, and he managed to get the pickup once. It's possible. I kind of counted him out the first time, but he proved me wrong. And I think we still do have Dead Hard available to us. This He's doing a lot of greeting on this palette. Okay, we do get the down eventually. We'll be getting the hook onto Grenon. Um, yeah, Dan just showing some excellent curves this game. This is some very impressive stuff on a map that is very difficult for the Hillbilly. Um, at least from my perspective. So maybe he's proving me wrong with that opinion there. But we do see DeRice crawling away. I don't think hatches matter in DBDLeague, not in AHL or anything else. And I think this will be the end of the game, a 4K1 and a Mori to end us off.
Yeah, very very well played by Dan and Team Umbrella. They had a very rough start, so getting down to a 4K1 is pretty good, knowing that you don't have to play for like a 4K3 or 4K4 or anything like that. Is going to be much easier on Umbrella's killer. But
Mm.
that was a very rough position from them. I'm proud of them for being able to get as far as they did.
Yeah, me as well. I mean, I think 4K1, especially given the Gideon meat plant's gen spawns, if you manage to get a good 3 gen and hold it, I think this is a very tieable position. I think a win would be very difficult unless we get another penalty. Um it's possible though. I mean, I don't know. This is just it's a war of attrition to get a 4K one, right? You have to clear out the pallets if you want to hold a 3 gen there, and the survivors have to do a very good job of pre-running, but we do have some good perks to help us with that. Sprint burst is available, balance landing is available, and there are some good spots to drop off of. Pretty much every exhaustion, as this is a very high tier killer, and I don't know. I mean, AHL's balancing, I think, also allows a lot of gen perks like deja vu, resilience, stuff like that. We saw dead hard on our Dway as well in the previous match. Um, but yeah, I mean, this team Invictus is probably gonna do a pretty good job of avoiding that 3 gen. I think that is the only way they lose here.
Yeah, the this map is this map is a weirdly designed map. You've got all the god palettes, which like it just makes everything completely safe. But then at the same time, the gens are super close to each other. It's very easy for the killer to pressure them. So killer can pressure the gens, you just can't get the downs very quickly, unless you're Dan, I guess. But for most other killers, it's just spacebar simulator. It's not a fun time. This is Other than Toba, this is my most hated map. I despise this map so much. Toba, I just hate it because I guess the color scheme and the way the map is designed.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I'm
when
I'm
when
I'm very glad Billy isn't played on that map today. I'd be
on
crying.
Billy on Toba landing in comp DBD, imagine. That would be crazy.
I mean, hey, we're seeing Billy on Gideon right now. Anything's possible, I guess.
I think the only 2 killers I've seen on Toba Landing before were Hag and Ghostface. Those are some interesting matches to watch and cast. I didn't play in them, thank goodness, but I did watch them. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, Gideon Meat Plant also an uncommon map. We've seen some Huntress on Gideon Meat Plant before in our previous seasons. Usually happens with AHL, as this is a rule set that is geared towards indoor maps. Um, and we do see a lot of indoor maps coming through, but yeah, like we said, this is the first time we're seeing Gideon Meat Plant in this particular matchup today. A lot of teams ban it because it is a very difficult map, like we've said. But I mean, yeah, Team Invictus on the Survivor, Rocket, Pedro, Spitz, and Kexo, and Device on the killer here. So we're gonna have to see his Billy.
Yeah, I've seen Legion on this map actually quite often. I mean, I say often, not really, but uh, usually a lot of tournaments they have Legion on Gideon with the Eerie button. So anytime you vote the pallet in power, it just instantly breaks it. And then most people they just bring Enduring, so they can just send it through the pallets and create huge dead zones. And then they have the high gen pressure because of how the map's designed with the high chase pressure because of the injuries. So I've seen that quite a lot. Just not these killers. One of these days we'll see a nurse on Gideon, and then that will be a very fun time for the nurse. Not really anyone else, but for the nurse.
The classic pub menace, right? It's your son Gideon replay, or Midwich, I guess. I guess Midwich is also a common map for her in pubs. Back when map offerings were more of a thing, I guess. I'm a little bit glad that map offerings are a thing of the past, at least a
Yeah,
little bit.
you have no idea how many times I've done a killer streak and I see an eerie offering load up and I start tilting and I just throw my keyboard across the room. That was those were bad times. Nowadays, I just see the ones that make the hooks spawn farther apart and the serves spawn separated. That's pretty much it. But I'm very glad eerie offerings are gone too.
Yeah, area of crows, man. Hopefully, we never see a DBDLeague match on that one. Um, that would be rough for the killer.
Yeah,
But
the one time I've seen eerie in comp was I did some scrims on I forget what balancing it was, but I did Billy scrims on eerie when he was first buffed, and if I remember correctly, Ruin was allowed, but Undying was banned. And it was not a fun time at all. And unfortunately, we loaded in, but we loaded in on the wrong map. So it looks like we're gonna have to reload that. And I don't know if I'm correct, but I think I may have caught something. a certain thing with that undetectable add-on, not add-on, the perk. It was something you mentioned earlier. I think it was the crosshair perk, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh, okay. I mean that I did cast a match last week. I think it was Oni on Midwich that had that perk. And it was I think I got some value. The only problem with that perk is it's kind of on a timer and it can be cleansed, right? Um I mean I think that perk is called Hex Overture of Doom. So so it grants the undetectable status effect for a little bit, and your terror radius is set onto the cursed generator that a survivor is working for at least 5 seconds. And it lasts for 30 seconds. So I mean, could work, could work. I'm glad we're seeing some of these new perks come out though. I know some killers will be introduced to DBD and we won't see any of their perks in comp. So it's nice to see a bit of a shake up there. We're hopefully going to be loading into the right map this time. No Ormond Lake Mine. I think that was the that was the map that accidentally got set before. Um, but yeah, Gideon Meat Plant round 2. We'll see what happens.
To be fair, I do actually kind of like Orman Lake Mine. It's a fun map. The main building isn't that strong, and there's plenty of snow around. The one issue I have is the snow for some reason sounds like it's Chucky all the time with the little pitter patter of the footsteps. It sounds so weird, but now we're in on the right map, and I was correct. It was the crossfit perk,
Mhm.
and he has a different choice. He instead of going Raven, he's going Boots, which personally I think that's the better choice because of how this map is set up. The longer charge time actually kind of hurts you with breaking pallets, but he also has Ruin and Deadman's, so it's a pretty strong combo. Already off to a better start than that last game, unless he gets a curve here. Ooh,
Ooh.
Dan crouches him in the corner, I think. And now he has these two god pallets right next to each other. Very nice gameplay, as Rocket would say.
Yeah, we're actually
And
gonna have to leave Spitz here. I mean, heading off into the map. And Spitz, I mean, he kind of was in a bit of a dead zone there. He dropped both of the pallets, but we don't want another generator to pop. Um, Looks like this survivor was working on the Shen here, but did do a good job of pre-leaving. Corrupt is still up as well. Ruin is working on those generators, and we're taking chase now onto Hydra.
yeah, it was really funny to me that at the second he left Spitz, you were like, and looks like we're leaving, and then he could only go 2 feet because he ran into another wall. That's always so funny to me. But now Pedro is in chase, and it looks like he's going to have another 10 god pallets, so it's not going to be long before he goes down, obviously. Oh, he gets
Ooh.
curved there. See, that's the advantage of no engravings on this map. He got his charge up much quicker than Pedro's expecting, so he didn't actually make that pallet. But it
Oh, but
looks
look
like,
at this Shen progress. Flightless. Look at all this Shen progress.
yeah, and he doesn't have pain res, so his hooks are not going to regress these gens. He does get Dead Man Switch on this gen for the next 35 seconds, so it's not completely worthless, but this is a pretty bad position. Last game we got almost a second stage for one gen pop. This game we got the first hook for a gen pop, and messes up that curve there. Unfortunate. Dan's
Mhm.
able to just leave, and another pallet. Just
Yeah.
only 30 more to go, Darice. Only 30 more to go. He
He's
leaves he leaves
been
he
he's been
leaves him for
chewing through
Medmet.
'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been chewing through these pallets like a beaver, and yet there's 20 more to go.
We are
Man,
taking chase onto Rocket now, but Rocket has a pallet here. I think he doesn't make it, so he crouches the corner though. Very good crouch by Rocket, but okay, we're taking an M1. I mean, that first curve, a very good curve onto Pedro, but yeah, like you said, we're just chewing through the pallets now. We're kind of experiencing Home Depot at its finest. Um, and this one pallet here, a little bit difficult to curve, but it is possible. I think we're choosing to maybe just walk him down and zone him into this room. Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay.
a nice S flick from Darice there. I like that one. But I don't know if this hook is really gonna do much because, like I said, no pain res, and I don't know. He's not really playing to try to force a 3v1. He does have a tough win con with this build as well. So like
Yeah.
not having pain res and going for fresh hooks is might come back to haunt him. Unless he can get some really fast chases. He has gone through quite a lot of pallets, so there are a couple dead zones. Like here, for example, Spitz is having to force locker because he doesn't have that pallet there.
Oh, this might be a down. Spitz did a good job of... No
Oh,
way.
he gets the head
No
on.
way. He gets the head on. That might be what Spitz needed to get to the next pallet, and there's another gen popping for that. We do have 2 pallets in our sight. Spitz choosing to drop this pallet at the, I mean, wait, there's a lot of pallets in this area, actually. Oh my goodness. I am just blown away by Gideon, I guess. But we do take chase now. Spitz crouching the corner again, and will be going into this room. I think he's just gonna be taking it down here. Doesn't want to get down, but will be grabbed out of the locker as there is no pallet in sight. There's 2 gens, super high progress though. We don't have pain res like you said, but Deadman Switch will be activating on Rocket's generator. I mean, pretty good progress by our survivors. There is still kind of a decent gen spread for our killer though. They're both all in this area. Um, I mean, it's not great. It's not awful though. I don't wanna speak too soon, but there's a gen here that is quite high progress, and our survivor is W keying away from it now.
Yeah, and now they've got the LT, which last game was pretty strong for the Billy because of the way it was zoned, but now it's actually pretty. I'd say it's pretty detrimental because it's hard to outplay an LT with the chainsaw, and that one is completely open on both sides. So if he messes up, they can just leave. A good curve attempt by Darice there. Makes it back to the God Pallet though.
Yeah.
Decides not to drop it. Doesn't want to give him the free break. Still has plenty of distance. Ooh, a good stun. And heals himself. So now Darice is forced to use his chainsaw. Well, a good cancel tech. And now we're down to 1 gen. Rocket gets
Oh my
the
gosh, he gets
stun.
the reverse. No way.
And he has
And I
another
mean,
God.
yeah, he's heading off into the map. We don't have any sort of a tunnel out here. Every survivor that's been hooked is only on the first stage. So if we want to get, I think this is already the win zone actually, because of that penalty there for the map. So I mean, Invictus just doing such a good job trying to deny a tunnel out, denying any chance of pressure, and dropping every ballot instantly. It's they're not even dropping everything instantly, right? They're doing a lot of greeting here and dropping when they have to, such as using those resources super wisely to get distance and get the safety. And this one gen, a dead
Oh,
hard coming through from Spitz, an excellent dead hard, and that is rough for our killer. We still kind of have a bit of a gen spread though, so he might be able to hold this a little bit, but that gen is so high.
yeah, that was a classic DH from Spitz there. The Spitz DH, as it's very well known. But yeah, as you said, this is actually a win for Invictus survivors because of the penalty that Darice got for not setting the map, and that meant that a tie was not possible. So I mean, Darice is not playing bad by any means. It's just him going for fresh hooks and not having pain res kind of came back to bite him. To plus this map, like these survivors are playing extremely well. Like they may have 20 god pallets, but they're using them in like it's 10. You know, they're playing it pretty efficiently. Also, a
Mhm.
little something that people may not know is that when Billy is charging his chainsaw, you can actually hear the progress. Like it's not exact. You don't know if it's like 99 or like 80, but you can hear it. Like the higher pitch it goes, the more charge it is. So that is why Spitz earlier was playing around the lockers like he was. He was trying to, obviously, if the chainsaw is really high charge, he can just chainsaw you and instant down you. So you'll locker when it's close. But then you go out of the locker when it's low down, and he gets an FTP. Is that Wiglif as well? It looks like it. So this is going to be a 4 out. Maybe if they can heal tech. Pixo has to run towards the gate. Yeah, it looks like they get it.
Yeah, that will be a four-man out. A three-stage, a very excellent job by our Invictus survivors. Getting the FTP at the end there, I think. I don't even think it was Wiglif. I think he might have had a different perk there, but we do have FTP, which helped him get to the exit gate, and that was an excellent job. I think we're gonna be heading into the Cenobite set. Finally a normal map. No more no more construction shops or anything like that. No more Lowe's or Home Depots. But yeah, Rutgers Yard, a lot more of a classic map. Still a lot of pallets though. We got a pallet update. The pallet density got increased, of course, recently. Everyone is very well aware, especially killer players who have to chew through them all. Um, but I mean, Cenobite is still a pretty fun set in my opinion, and very sad to see him leave the DBD shop. But we still see him in comp. Thank goodness. But yeah, I mean, I think this was Umbrella's pick, so they're gonna be starting on the killer. Sasuha taking the first killer slot.
Yeah, I don't know how Cenobite's going to fare with the this pallet density update because like his chains can outplay some pallets, but if the survivor can get good chain RNG, like depending on where they spawn, they can just instant break them and then probably make another pallet for free because of the pallet density update being what it is. There's pallets pretty much everywhere. Like I even played on Haddonfield the other day as Billy. I was doing a game in VC with some friends, and I had two pallets spawn right next to each other. It is one of those car pallets. There's a car in the truck in the middle and two cars on the sides, and there's a pallet in between both. So this this update is something. So also with Wreckers or any Azrov's map, before you would have the green truck and then either the crane or the bus, and then you have any iteration of the bus. But now you can even have two cranes, you can have two buses, you can have a crane and a bus. So this map has become a lot stronger for Survivor. So I'm it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I'm assuming that it's going to have the classic uh the original pain add-on to try to tunnel out people as quick as possible. But the chases are going to be a lot more interesting to watch.
Yeah, Original Pain and Impaling Wire, the two classic add-ons for the Cenobite, right? And we do have our standard gold standard balancing this time, so no crazy perks like Dead Man Switch is allowed. Um, we will probably just be seeing those two add-ons there coming through, and not the most lenient balancing. We do have a lot of restricted perks. There's very few exhaustions allowed. Head-on is allowed, but I think that might be it. Not even smash hit on the Cenobite set. So gonna be very restricted for survivors, but only restricted in the sense of perks. We still do have a lot of freedom on the map, like you said, um, like we were talking about with all of the pallets. And yeah, you mentioned the crane can spawn twice even. It's just these last couple of weeks. I mean the records yard has been proving to be a bit of a hassle, I think. Um,
Yeah, it's a in comp we don't see it as much because obviously like the maps are chosen specifically for each killer. But when you go into public games, if you don't know, I do a bunch of killer streaks, and I've been doing pig streak trying to beat my own record of 172 and trying to get to 200. And those palette updates come out, plus the boosted maps, where a lot of the boosted maps I think are like Badham and Gideon and Larry's, for example. The palette update for M1s has been horrific. It has been it has been really bad. There's so many palettes everywhere. Shattered Square, for example, that was known for a long time as having not a single palette on the entire map. But now I have seen the most crazy RNG on that map. It's actually insane. So I kind of want to see if we can get like a ghoul on Shattered Square one of these maybe one of these upcoming sets.
Cool, maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed for sure.
I would say Blight, but he's OP. Uh, Ghoul is like a D tier killer. He's just a better Legion. It's fine.
He's just a better Legion. That is certainly a take. I mean, I mean, to be fair, I have seen some Legion the last couple of weeks, and Legion has done a pretty good job on a lot of the sets recently. Kind of catching survivors off guard a lot of the time. So maybe we'll even see a Legion. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think today we're gonna be seeing it. At least not in the first matchup. Uh, Myers, Hillbilly, Cenobite. Artist on the Suffo Pit later, and then Houndmaster on Rancid Abattoir if we get to those last two. Um, we did take the first two sets, Invictus did. So there's a good chance it will be a 3-0 or at least getting to the artist set to a 3-1. Less of a chance we're gonna get to the Houndmaster set, but we'll have to see what happens in this in this upcoming Cenobite set. Um, and then once we're done with that, we're gonna be heading into Elysium versus Reassure. But we're in the lobby now. Yeah, like I said, Sasuha on the killer, Kexo, Dan, Rocket, and Spitz on the survivor. Pedro is sitting out for this one, um, on the survivor end at least. But yeah, Wrecker's Yard.
Yeah, the pick for artist being a Suffo Pit, it is not it's not usual. The usual map for artists is sometimes Wreckers, but most of the time it's Azeroth's resting place because of that 3 gen potential that you get. But Suffo Pit, it actually, if I'm not mistaken, used to be a pretty common map for her because it also has the 3 gen potential. The slight issue is the mid map is a bit stronger for the survivor because of all the extra tiles that you get being connected into each other. But I really like artist sets. Like the she has pretty good chase, but also like using the crows to try to slow down the 4v1 is pretty it's pretty fun, especially when you hear one of the survivors calm that they're crowing a gen and then they get hit anyway, and then there's a big a big fuss about it. That's always fun.
Yeah, artists typically played on the Azerov's resting place, right? That's her most common map in comp, I'd like to say. So Suffolk Pit 1 is a little bit different, but also has the same shape, right? It's the same shape as ARP. It has the bottleneck shape, and yeah, the tiles are different. I think the middle of the bottleneck is a little bit wider than ARP, a little bit easier to cross, but still kind of the same concept. We have um a 4-3 split sometimes. Sometimes there's a 4 gen on one side of the map. Sometimes there's a 3-1-3 split. And the survivors have to be doing a good job, a careful job of not trapping themselves all on one side. So the macro there is pretty interesting to me. I'm just talking about that because we have a little bit of a longer time. We loaded in without a survivor, so we're having
Yeah.
a little bit of a longer intermission here. So excuse us for that one. We're still in the lobby though.
Yeah, just some technical difficulties. They were setting up the lobby as normal, and then as soon as they clicked ready, I watched it. As soon as they clicked ready, Dan crashes and leaves the lobby. So now we're waiting for him to boot back up. We get his build ready, everything. So a little bit of a longer intermission. Apologies for that, but hopefully getting into the game soon. Uh, we will be, like we said, going in Cenobite on Wrecker's Yard. Uh, I do know, however, for Invictus, unfortunately, he's not with us now because he is currently visiting some family. Some family, but Nightlight actually loves versing this killer. This is one of his favorite killers to verse, if I'm not mistaken. So I know he's going to be upset that he couldn't be here today for this for just this set alone. He's not happy about that.
Just for the artist stuff a bit. We will be finally loading into the match, though we're in the loading screen now. Hopefully, no crashes this time. Um, but I mean, there's a chance that they wouldn't have gotten to the artist set anyways. Invictus has taken 2 sets already, so there's a chance they'll 3-0. I'm not counting out Umbrella yet, though. They have a good chance of this one. This is their pick, like I said earlier. Cenobite, excuse me. And yeah, we're gonna have to see that one. But this is Team Umbrella on the killer. Sasuha. I have never seen their pinhead before. But we'll have to see it now. And this is loading in now.
Yeah, DBD's finally stopped doing DBD things, and we have a pretty common build. We have Corrupt, Painrest, Eruption, and Sloppy. Sloppy is kind of more of an uncommon pick, but also a common pick. It's kind of weird. You see it a lot, but then it kind of goes in and comes out of the usual balance. Uh, but also already found someone on Jack, chasing them towards edge map. He was trying to find the box at the start, but unfortunately did not find it. Trying to mind game here. Does get the chain. Dan's already on the box.
Dan
Yeah,
actually solving the box where he was looking earlier, so he must have just barely missed it. Unless Dan traveled quite a ways to solve it, but I don't think he did. So unfortunate for Sasuha that he didn't find it there, but did have the game sense to look in the right spot. And we are taking chase with Rocket now on the short wall, and he does get an excellent chain through the window, but Rocket managing to break all of those chains despite impaling wire being one of our add-ons here, and I think this might be a hit. Yeah, he does take an M1 here. That will be Sloppy Butcher applied. He's heading towards the crane deep into the corrupted side of the map, and another chain going through. I think he does make the pallet regardless. We'll be dropping it. But this could be a longer chase. It's hard to say. He has already gotten an injury, so he's already off to a good start.
he does have this crane. If Sasuro can hit this chain, and doesn't look like they're going for it, so he does make the pallet for free. But looks like he's going to try to zone him edge map. Does get the zone. This should be a very quick down because Rocket has nothing. But you never know. Rocket pathing could come out and completely surprise us. He could be on like edge 12 right now. You'd never know. This guy's pathing is different. I've done a Cenobite 1v1 versus this guy before. It is not fun. He ends up actually unzoning himself and making a pallet, and now he has a teammate there to help him. That's what I'm saying. Rocket pathing is a different breed. Spit's helping him break the chains, takes a hit.
Doing a great job of unzoning himself away from that deep 9 area. 2 generators popping for this chase. We do know he's running into an area where he's already dropped this pallet. However, he does have or sorry, he didn't drop this pallet. That was the other short wall. And he does have this pallet. We'll be dropping it now. Getting a stun here, actually. Getting an excellent stun and heading towards the top side of the map. Is not able to make it towards the shack as Sasuga is kind of zoning him away from it, doing a good job for that one, but I don't think Rocket has too much in this area. There's a hill next to a truck, and we know both of those tiles are not very good, but he is going to be most likely dying under this pallet, or at least making it to it. He does make it to the pallet, and another survivor coming in for a body block now. Does he make the shack pallet? I think he does, actually, Flightless.
Yeah, he does. Dan helping him break those pallets, and the Portuguese net unfortunately gets him hit at the shack pallet, but he gets free distance from the speed boost. He gets the pallet stun, and he makes it far away. But this is a pretty bad start for Sasua. But he could come back from this because he is chasing Spitz on edge map. This is 3 for those who don't know the call outs. But and he has the box as well. Spitz is playing the check spots really well. Already 1 gen, no downs yet, by the way. And I'm expecting Dan and Rocket to be healed soon, and then they're going to be coming in for body blocks as well. This is not looking very good for Sasua.
Yeah, Spitz with the box. This is one of the newer tiles. It's a very strong tile here. The pallet is already dropped, unfortunately, for Spitz, but he does have a mid-3 pallet that he could make it to. However, that was an excellent chain. We're gonna need a body block to get us to the shack window, and I think we're gonna be taking chase onto the survivor with the box. So will this be a down? It's so hard to say. There's so many good resources on this map, like we said earlier, and we're seeing them come through now in person. Spit's doing an excellent job of sending it to every single resource on the map, and we see now why so many people are not a fan of the new Wrecker's Yard, or at least the pallet density update. Survivors might be, but so many body blocks coming through to help them, and just adding even more pallets, I guess, human pallets, that is. And Spitz, I keep wanting to say he's going down soon, but he keeps surviving, so I don't want to jinx myself.
Yeah, they're having an absolute miracle, couple miracle runs on this candy land that they have. Like, what is this? There's just a pallet everywhere, and then all of a sudden there's a human that appears. He finally does go down, and he gets the box, but I don't know if this is going to do anything because this is a oh my, this is the first hook, and he has a super far pain res. Now he does have box activated, but he's not going to be able to camp this. I mean, camping this would do nothing realistically. So he's probably just gonna have to go for his fresh hooks and hope that he can get a quick down. This is a very bad start, but the advantage is that most of the pallets are finally gone. It's taken a very long time. Is he gonna be able to stop this box? Oh no, he's not. I think it was just out of range. That was a very good attempt. Already gets the pull. Going to go back. Probably just going to go for fresh hooks at this point. Like, but even that is going to be very difficult because everyone's healthy.
Yeah. I I mean this is a healthy survivor. Like, yes, you have to go through a fresh hook, but it took 4 gens to get the first, so this will be difficult. He does get a very fast first hit onto Rocket. Rocket sending it towards the hill, and we know from earlier there's very few pallets in this area. Might be an edge map pallet here. We haven't seen this area yet, but does Rocket make it? Maybe he does make this pallet at inner 2, and will be avoiding that chain. An excellent job by Rocket there, to dodge. And does he make it anywhere? He's kind of stuck on the outside of this pallet, but Sasuke, unfortunately for this killer, misses the M2 there. We'll be taking an M1 onto Dan. So we have 3 survivors injured, 2 of them inflicted by Sloppy Butcher. I would not be surprised if Spitz's mangled and hemorrhage has run out by now, but the last chase of the game will be on to Dan. Most likely he is looping the shack pallet. There's no shack pallet, or the shack with no shack pallet. And we'll be taking a chain. This is so tough. This is so tough for our killer, and he will most likely have a body block coming through soon as well.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna go down. Yeah, unfortunately, Spitz was just a little too slow in getting here because of that sloppy butcher. Wait. Oh, okay, the angle wasn't quite right. He is gonna go basement, but I mean, they have plenty of time to get this box done, so they don't have to worry about that. They have a gate open, they can get the second one open too, and even with doing all that, they're going to be able to have time to probably get him unhooked before he even goes second stage. So this could be a 2-stage game. It's definitely possible.
I mean, Sasuke did a very good job of hooking in the basement though, so it will be a little bit more difficult for our survivors, especially now that we have a chain hunt active. They kind of have to worry about that. It is possible, of course, to save without solving the box first, but we do have a little bit of time. I think Rocket is going to be the one going for it there. And this basement hook, I would not be surprised at all if our Invictus survivors want to save Dan out of the basement. That it will be 3 extra stages if we do not save him. Three total at least on him, 2 extra. And yeah, they're thinking about it. They're definitely thinking about it. All 3 of them are close by in the shack. Spitz makes his way into the basement to get the unhook here, and I think he gets it for free. You can unhook while you are chained. The chain does not interrupt the hook there. So do we get Kexo? Hold on. Hold on, Flightless. Maybe?
Yeah. Oh wait, this actually came back to haunt them. It looks like he's going to get an extra fresh hook, maybe. Does he? Oh, he almost. If Kexo had dodged that chain, he was out. But unfortunately, it's also just too accurate and actually hits it. And now, okay, so this is. It could have been a 2-stage. This is looking like 3 stages because they do still have time to reset, even through sloppy. And the now the hook is not in basement. It's going to be much easier to get, and it's right next to a gate. So even if someone gets injured very quickly, they still probably will have time to get out. Switch has his pallet here. He's just trying to distract so the killer doesn't interrupt the heal at all, and also trying to trying to not get injured as as quick as possible.
Mhm.
Looks like yeah, it looks like they're probably going to get this heal off, and the box is only 50%, so they still have plenty of time.
Yeah. I
This
mean,
might I said this might be a two-stage game. I was wrong. I apologize, but it might be a three-stage game. So I'm gonna hopefully I can jinx him if this ends up being like a 4K4. He's gonna build all the generators again with all the pallets that they broke last game.
I think if the basement hook was possible, this hook is most definitely possible. We do see Dan getting the unhook here, and the body blocks are gonna come through now. We do get the mend say onto Kexa, which means his burrow time is worthless now. But I mean, the survivors doing a good job of being the burrow time themselves, just taking the body blocks, taking the hits. That will be a 4-man out at 3 stage on 3 fresh survivors. A very tough win condition, I think, Flightless, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. I'm not going to count them out for sure, especially given the high pallet density on the Wrecker's Yard map. And getting those fresh stages are super, super important. If we'd just gone for spits in that endgame, it would have been 3 stages on 1 fresh and would have been even more difficult. So I'm glad that Sasuha managed to get some extra fresh stages there. But still very difficult. We'll have to see. I think there's a small chance that getting Kexo in that endgame will make all the difference. And a small chance it won't matter at all as well if they manage to get a nice 4K.
Yeah,
We'll have to see.
Team Umbrella are going to have to make sure that they have as good as or an even better chase than Invictus did. Rocket absolutely showing up, showing us why he's consistently on the top ranks of ladder, but also Invictus coming in and playing the 4v1 really well, taking the body blocks exactly when they needed them. Like there were so many moments where it looked like someone was about to go down and then someone just appears out of nowhere, appears out of thin air. It's like they teleported there themselves. And taking the body blocks exactly when they needed to, and then they also had Candyland on top of that, having two jungle gems, and then the new tile, which is pretty much another jungle gem, with Spitz taking that for like 20 years with the box earlier. So very well played by them. Like I feel like there wasn't really anything Sosua could have done there any better. Maybe hit a couple more chains here and there. Maybe predict the rocket pathing. Who knows? But other than that, I didn't really see any like huge mistakes. It was just super well played by Invictus.
That's what we tend to see at super high level play. Um, is just s- body blocks coming through every pallet getting dropped, and it results in a very low stage result, right? Um, I mean, and yeah, like you said, Sasuke didn't do anything wrong, really. He. I mean, I'm sure there were some small things he could have shaped up on a little bit. For the most part, this is the result that nearly every killer would have gotten. It's just so hard to chew through these pallets, so hard to chew through the body blocks, and even with the box, the active threat of the chain hunt constantly looming. Our survivors did the gens so fast. We are going to be heading into the next set with Team Umbrella on the survivor end, and I think Pedro that was on the killer that I saw in the lobby. But I mean, Pedro also going to have a tough time chewing through the pallets as well. I mean, our survivor team here just has to use our resources wisely, like we saw earlier.
Yeah, Pedro is a very good. He's a very good Cenobite. He's the Cenobite main for Team Invictus. He's a very good M1 killer, and also he can hit his chains pretty consistently. So he's got a good chance of beating this win column. But yeah, say for example he chases Grin out first. There, it could be very bad for them. You never know. Even for someone like Pedro, Grin out is a very dangerous chase. He's like Rocket, where you can have those 5 gen runs on him pretty easily. He does have a different build. Uh, Again with the corrupt and the pain res, pretty typical. But he has Bruin and Undying, which is pretty good for Cenobite because of the the chain hunt with the box. It causes a bit of slowdown from the survivor side. They have to one travel to the box. They have to worry about the chain hunt being active.
Oh,
And oh no, a very very bad start. Derice jumps out of a locker the worst possible time and gets hit. He does, and he has to use Shaq at 5 gens. Oh no, my teammates are gonna be very mad about that one.
Shaq at 5, but there's a million more god palettes to play with the rest of the match, right? Um, I mean, I'm surprised he actually left our Steve there. He was already injured. Is gonna try to be applying pressure elsewhere in the map. I noticed that there is Ruin up, so that might be a good reason for that one. So, I mean, Ruin just eating away at the generators constantly, and if we do leave to apply pressure elsewhere, I mean, that's kind of what Ruin is for. We will be seeing another tag coming through actually on our ace player, our previous pinhead. Um, and he will be heading into the map. The result of Sloppy Butcher though, we do see Steve healing up pretty fast after the first tag and a very good second chain. And I mean, Pedro just wants to get as much Ruin value as he possibly can while he chews away at these pallets.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to take his injuries and maybe catch someone off guard. Eat through the pallets a little bit. He knows his win con. He doesn't have to play for like a super high stage game or like even 4K. He just has to get his 4 stages and then he can leave. And he's done for the day. So it looks like he's trying to play off of that, make sure that he can get as many pallets gone as possible so he can start some quick chases. And it looks like Grinnell. Oh, he doesn't go down. Scan coming in last second for a body block. Very nice. He does have this pallet, but it's broken, and now he's zoned edge map, it looks.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's stuck on this pallet, which this pallet has been around for ages, except it's recently been nerfed. So it's even harder to play now.
Ooh, a very good chain by Pedro. I think that actually might result in our first down through the pallet. This was a lot faster of a down than we saw in our previous match, and given we had some pressure applied elsewhere, along with the box being solved, I think we will see the first gen popping for it. But still, I mean, the first gen in the last match was at 1 generator remaining, right? We see 4 gens remaining in the trial, so we're already off to a bit of a better start here. And we will be getting a pain rest here onto Nia's gen. Um, we do see Ace solving the box in the meantime. A very good job by our survivors to take that off of our checklist. But still, this is a deep 3 hook. There is a very good chance that this win con is much harder now, and it's a great chance that Pedro will be wanting to hold this side of the map, especially given that that first gen popped kind of towards 1, I want to say. So we don't really have much of a 3 gen, but Pedro still looks like he wants to hold the area.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to make sure that this guy goes second stage, or he can get another hook out of it at least. And another thing I want to point out that from that Invictus, oh, very nice. Listen, sometimes it happens. Listen, I have my own gripes about aim assist. Absolutely hate this program. It is terrible behavior. Please fix it. Thank you. Uh, but yeah, what I want to point out from that Invictus game, like you saw how, like the difference between this game and last game is insane. The first down came at 5 gens. This game and last game it came at 4 gens done. And Invictus did that with no exhaustions. Like obviously there's head on, but there's no lithe or sprint burst or anything like that. Like there's no super strong perks. And unfortunately, we have a bit of a spectator bug. This has been in the game for quite a while. Pedro is currently both AFK on the hook and also chasing Nia, so bit of an odd bug, but gets another down. Like this is already the tie for Pedro, so I I, I don't know. Team Umbrella are gonna have to apparently get 0 stage from here on out.
Yeah, and if we do manage to act, it's like somehow I have no idea how, but somehow they managed to pull this off and get no more stages. We will be heading into a 1v1 tiebreaker. Um, I'm sure if you've been watching DBDLeague qualifiers and the beginning of our season last week, you might have seen a little bit of it. But yeah, the Cenobite on the Wrecker's Yard 1v1, 2v1 technically. We will be seeing two 1v1s back to back as our new tiebreaker rule set, but we'll have to get there first. So we'll have to go away, no more stages. And Ace getting hit here is a good start to getting our fourth fresh. He will be taking chase now, but all four survivors injured, all four survivors unable to body block for each other. So Ace is just left with his own devices and some pallets, and I think he will be going down as a result here. That will be an excellent chain by Pedro into a down and the win. I think if this hook comes through, a 3-0 for Invictus.
Yep, it will be. That is going to be 4 stages, 4 fresh compared to 3 stages, 3 fresh for Team Umbrella. So yeah, that's already the win for Team Invictus. So fortunately, we're not going to be able to see Pedro and Rocket versus the Cenobite on the 2v1. So bit sad about that, but I'm pretty big Invictus fan. I'm pretty cool with most of the players there, so I'm as sad as I am that Umbrella lost. They're not gone forever. They're just going to the losers bracket. So I I am okay. I am okay with them going if that means Invictus gets to win. I guess.
Yeah, the losers bracket has some tough opponents too, right? I think we saw Petroleum is in the losers bracket at the moment. I don't want to call it the losers bracket, excuse me, the lower bracket.
Yeah,
But
the
they
the
were the
non-winners
teams,
bracket.
the non-winners bracket, the teams that last weekend did unfortunately for them lose the sets, and we do see another out onto Greta. By the way, I don't want to talk too much about that because this game is still going on. Despite us having our win condition already, we have two hooks, I think, at the same time. Both standing survivors are injured, and we did see the box just get solved, so some good information on the survivors. Our Ruin and our Undying has already been cleansed, so at least that pressure is off of the board, but Steve taking chase now, and our yeah, this is going to be a down in the mid-3 area. But I mean, all of our pain verses are used, our Ruin Undying is used, Corrupt is over. We have no perks remaining other than all of the pressure that we have on the survivors already, which is a lot.
Yeah, Pedro's trying to show all those sweaty killer mains out there. You don't need all those regression perks. You don't need to tunnel. You don't need to camp. You can 8 hook and you can still win the game. And he's doing his absolute best. Never mind, he's being a tunneling little rat. I'm gonna minus 20 stages from him right now. I think Team Umbrella should win for this tunnel. You should go for Sasua. You gotta play for your 12 hook, buddy.
Yeah, our Death Hook taking chase now. If Mia goes down here, this will be the first elimination of the trial. Um, and our other survivor, okay, he's actually just gonna leave here. We do have a little bit of a fortune in the lower right side of the map, if you include Shack there. And I mean, still gonna be pretty difficult to play for the survivors, especially given the proximity of these gens and all the pallets that have been cleared out in these areas. I think Pedro's been doing some work this match and clearing them all out. Um, but still a little bit easier to play, especially with all 4 survivors standing. But will this be a down? No. Grad out greens, and we'll be staying alive for a little bit longer. Is this... Okay. Okay, he is going to be going down eventually, and that will be the first elimination of the trial.
Yeah, it's good patience by Grenal on that pallet, but even better patience by Pedro. He knew that he could play this pallet for 20 years, and there's no way that he loses. So he can be as patient as he wants to be. So now he has this. Okay, I was about to say a 4 gen, but now he has this 3 gen. Not the tightest 3 gen in the world, but also not extremely split. It's not like opposite side of the map, so he can still play it. Looks like he's going to get his second elimination here soon, as long as Skang doesn't have a miracle run. Yeah, it looks like not going to go down here. That gen on the one that he just kicked is actually pretty high progress, so they might even pop it. But if so, that will look like he's probably going to just go for ace and try to get that 11 stage at worst.
Mm.
In fact, they don't even pop it, so this could be a 4K1.
Yeah, it looks like they didn't get too much progress after Pedro left. He doesn't have eruption. He doesn't have pop. He just dry kicked that gen twice, so I mean that gen is still in very much danger of popping if Steve manages to sneak his way around to it. Ace just sending it away from this bus here will be probably just dying edge map 6. He does have a Z-wall. I wonder if he can chain the Z-wall a little bit and maybe last a little bit longer, but this all rests on Ace's chase now if Steve can escape or not. But I think he will be going down. Steve most likely instantly got on that gate deep 3. I don't know if Pedro makes it to him in time, especially if he takes a detour, but we'll have to see. I think Steve actually didn't choose to get on the gate. Ace might have called out that he was going down too soon for that to happen. So we do see him heading towards the crane, instantly dropping the crane pallet and taking the last chase of the game.
Yeah, Pedro used his chain on the hill there to scout to see if Steve was getting on the gate instantly, and he saw no red light, so he knew it wasn't there. So decides to check the area and instantly finds him. So we can have an in-game chase now, which this is just for brownie points. This is to ego. Pedro not egoing as much. He's breaking the pallet, trying to get his zone. Good chains though. Ooh, good stun. That's gonna be -4 stages. Let's see if he can get a few more, then maybe they can still win this. Doesn't look like they hit shot. Oh, he doesn't hit through the window. Hits that chain as well. He does get the good RNG. He can instantly break them, but I don't think he has any more pallets to get any more minus stages. Oh, this is going to be a close one. Oh, another stun. All right, that's -8 stages. Come on. All right, we're at currently, how many stages is that? I'm trying to do quick math. That's 9 stages. Oh wait. Oh, this means that Team Umbrella win. They're at 1 stage now. -4 stages per pallet stun, and they've gotten 2 pallet stuns, so easy.
I mean, Steve is doing a good job of clearing out all these pallets. He will be going down eventually, but that was an excellent chase. Just unfortunate that the last chase of the game was so good when it didn't matter as much. It seems to always happen, I swear. But yeah, we will be getting the 4K at 0 generators, I think that was, yeah. And I mean, honestly, a very good result for Pedro, especially on the new Wrecker's Yard. We've been complaining about the Wrecker's Yard all day, and I think this is why we will be getting the Mori to end off the game. Just choosing to close the hatch and Mori him on top of it. But I think we're going to be handing this game off to our upcoming casters. Egder and Outcast Andrew will be casting our next section. That'll be Elysium versus Reassure. Following that will be Ariandel versus Ascent, Praxis versus Exodus.